Alright, what's going on YouTube? It's the Gamer187 back again with a movie review for you guys. Now, I know I haven't done a movie review for you guys in a long time, and I am going to start back getting on my movie reviews and everything like that. And so this is going to be a non-spoiler review. I am going to do a spoiler review, of course, right after this video, so make sure you watch both of the videos. But if you haven't seen X-Men Days of Future Past, it's okay. You're safe. If you've seen it, tell me what you thought about it in the comment section. But this is the non-spoiler review, so let's get right into it. Alright, X-Men Days of Future Past. Now, I feel like walking out of this film, I felt like this film, X-Men Days of Future Past, takes everything that was wrong with the just terrible X-Men The Last Stand, and it just makes it so much better. Like, it rights every single wrong that X-Men The Last Stand created. Like, it now, X-Men The Last Stand was a good film. I gotta give it that. But it was a good film and a bad film, because to me it felt like it messed up the X-Men. But X-Men Days of Future Past, like, just washes its hands with The Last Stand and just completely wipes the slate clean. And I thought that was amazing. X-Men Days of Future Past is, like, of course it is my favorite X-Men right now, probably until X-Men Apocalypse comes out. But this was just it was an incredible film. Like, I did not see anything wrong with this film walking out. Like, I still can't think of, like, okay, wait a minute, like, maybe, it should have been a little more of this and a little more of that. I mean, granted, yeah, I will say this, it should have been a lot more action, you know and that will probably be the only thing that I will say, that not to say that I didn't like about the film, because I absolutely loved everything about the film. But it could have been just a teensy winksy a little bit more action. I mean, they could have ramped it up to, like, Captain America, Winter Soldier. They could have put that type of action in there. But yeah, as far as superhero movies go, Captain America: The Winter Soldier is still at the top for me right now. Spider-Man came out. That was it was okay. It was a good film, but it was okay. It wasn't better than Winter Soldier. And Days of Future Past. It was a great film. It was an incredible film. So it's hard. It was hard for me to say, like, okay, which one is better, Days of Future Past or The Winter Soldier. But anyway, getting on with the review. So X-Men Days of Future Past, it takes place in the year, I believe, 2055 or something like that. It doesn't say what year it is when it comes on. It just shows, like, the different, like, places that they're in, like Moscow and China, I believe, and I think either New York or Chicago. And the world is just completely wiped out. Like, it was just like obliterated. I mean, it's like, mutants are scattering all over the world just to try and stay alive. And when these Sentinels come for you, they come for you, and they get you, they destroy you. They either just kill you, or they, you know, bring you to some kind of place or whatever. Because in at the beginning of the film, they show, like, all the mutants and um all, like, the humans that try to help the mutants, like, going into, like, some kind of place or whatever. uh but yeah, these Sentinels, man, they're no joke. And when they come for you, they come for you strong. And I'm not gonna say, like, what happens with the Sentinels, but I'll get to that in my spoiler review. But these Sentinels are badass, man. Like, these mutants, like, they don't stand a chance. I mean, even Magneto and these guys, they barely stand a chance against the Sentinels. But yeah, so the X-Men are the ones that's left, basically. they, they're still together or whatever, and there's a Magneto, Professor X, Wolverine, Storm. Of course, Jean, and Cyclops are dead. Um, Mystique, we don't know what happened to Mystique. She's probably dead or captured or something because Magneto betrayed her in the Last Stand, and then we pretty much don't know what happened to her after that. So and then Iceman is still around, and Kitty Pryde, and all these other X-Men who I think one of them is like Bishop, and some other X-Men who I don't know the names of because I wasn't too familiar with the comics. But they're in this like distant future, and they're basically trying to survive, and they come up with this idea to send Wolverine back in time to end end something which I won't spoil before it even starts, and before the Sentinels ever uh, start to be made. And I have to give credit to Bryan Singer because this guy really knows what he's doing when it comes to X-Men films. I'm not too fond on. I think the only other film I know Bryan Singer from is The Usual Suspects, and I haven't really fully watched that movie. But as far I don't know about his other movies, but as far as like the X-Men films, because he did what, X-Men 1, X-Men 2, and then now Days of Future Past. He knows what he's doing with these X-Men films. Like he should have did X-Men 3. Like, cause they should have never steered away from that. Like, he shouldn't have went and did that shitty ass Superman Returns. He should have just stuck with X-Men because he hits the mark every time with every X-Men film. And this film is completely amazing. Like, the writing is good. The story is a really good story, you know. But so they come up with this idea to send Wolverine back in time to meet Charles and Eric, and have them come together and stop something that happens before it, so it will never happen, and then the Sentinels will never never be made or whatever. And so that's basically the plot of the movie. Now, getting to when Wolverine does actually go back in time. So and that part, there were some really good parts in this movie. Like, and Quicksilver is like one of the highlights of the film. Even though he's only in it for like a little bit, he has a really good part. And Quicksilver is played by Evan Peters, who, if you like me, is a fan of American Horror Story, then you'll know who Evan Peters is. But he plays Quicksilver, who is the son of Magneto. And there's a little Easter egg in there where which I, of course, I won't say, what he said in the film. Check that out in my spoiler review. But he says something to Magneto, and it's like Magneto doesn't really like quite. I don't know if he was listening to him because he maybe thought he was annoying, or he just didn't care or whatever. But yeah, Quicksilver. There's a scene with Quicksilver that is just completely amazing. One of the best scenes in the movie. I'm telling you, I couldn't imagine what that scene looked like in 3D. I know it had to look amazing. Like, it was just a completely it was a great scene. But yeah, so Wolverine basically goes back in time, and he finds Charles where he's at his like lowest, like the lowest of the low, and he doesn't know what to do with himself, and he tries to convince him to, get the team. We have to do this. We have to get the team back together. We have to right all the wrongs that happened. And I think James McAvoy, he does a great job in this. He's fantastic, man. Him and I like the fact that the chemistry between James McAvoy's Charles Xavier, and Michael Fassbender's Eric Lyncher Magneto, is I like that chemistry is still there. And there's a scene where they're on like a airplane or something. Like that was another amazing scene too. Like just that chemistry between them. Like they really done a great casting job with those two actors, because that such chemistry between them is completely amazing. Um, but I have to say I haven't, I haven't seen anything yet that was wrong with this film. Maybe I need to watch it again and be like, oh, okay, that was, what about that and this and everything like that. But I don't see anything wrong with this film. Yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10. It was an amazing film. The acting was great. Just the the tone of the film was great, and everything, like the emotion from the characters is great. Like everyone did a great job. Even though some X-Men weren't in it as long as others, but it was still, like Halle Berry, for example, Storm. She didn't really do anything in it. I mean, to be honest with you, you could basically call Storm a cameo in this movie. But I mean, she barely had any lines or anything. But it was still a great film, and I'm glad that they made everything right, that X-Men: The Last Stand just completely obliterated. But he brought it back together with such a great film, and it was just an amazing film. You guys definitely have to check it out. Acting amazing, directing amazing, just the way the film looks with certain scenes. It's really good. It's a really good film. So definitely check out X-Men Days of Future Past. I give it a 10 out of 10. I saw nothing wrong with the film. And yeah, so make sure you guys check out my spoiler review for X-Men Days of Future Past, which I'm about to do right now, right after this video. And if you haven't seen the movie, then watch this right here. And I will see you guys later. Peace.